now, a 4-day walkout by junior doctors over an ongoing pay dispute with the government came to an end at 7 o'clock this morning. But there are now fresh concerns that further industrial action may be called and coordinated with a planned strike by the Royal College of Nursing. That's if demands aren't met. Well, for more on this, I'm now joined by the co-chair of the BMA's Junior Doctors Committee, Dr. Vivek Trivedi. Dr. Trivedi, good to see you this morning. I'm presuming that, as far as we all know, the government's door is still shut to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Yes, unfortunately, we have still been met with more radio silence from the government. Mr. Barclay has not yet responded to our latest correspondence, but we do hope that we are able to meet and talk to ultimately bring this dispute of ours to an end as quickly as possible.
Yeah, there has been some talk about the need to involve ACAS. Has the government shown any sign of willingness to do that, to get in front of a conciliator?
Not to my knowledge. We, from the BMA's side, we actually reached out to ACAS back in December and then have recently got back in touch with ACAS to again reinforce our willingness to help them, for them to help us facilitate talks. And it's a shame that the government seems to be refusing that offer as well, again claiming that we have preconditions which are false and making more excuses to not meet us.
Is the problem, though, that the 35% is just too much? You're asking too much, you need to revise that down, and then you maybe have some hope of getting the government in the room?
If they think that we're asking for too much, then they shouldn't have cut our pay by too much in the first place, because all doctors are trying to do is to restore our pay, to reverse the pay cuts that we've had. But more importantly, we've been very open and transparent that we're very willing to talk about how that happens, and we agree that there must be a negotiation to do this. But for that to happen, we need the other side, the government, to negotiate with us.
Talk to us, if you would, about the possibility of coordinated strikes with the nurses union, the RCN. Are you in talks with them about that?
So I fully support my nursing colleagues in the RCN, and they've made their voice loud and clear that the offer that was put forward to them is not enough to address their real terms pay cut and, the staff retention issues that our nursing profession also sees. They've called for further strikes, as you've alluded to. We haven't yet called for any further strikes, but of course our unions will be in close communication to discuss how we may go forward together.
And when you have this close communication about how you may go forward together, has it been discussed as a possibility, can you tell us?
We haven't ruled anything out.
Interesting. And how do you think the hospitals would cope with something like that? You've just come to the end of your 4-day strike for the junior doctors. And how would the hospital you work in, for example, cope with having, bare minimum junior doctors and nurses?
So I'd firstly say that neither the BMA nor the RCN would need to strike if the government came to either and both of us in good faith and helped both of our unions to work towards a credible offer that we could put back to our respective members.
Yeah, but we all know that it can't just be an empty threat, don't we? I mean, you have to be prepared to go through with it. Could your hospital cope?
Sure. So, doctors have shown that we can strike safely. Nurses have also shown that they can strike safely. Of course, both of our professions would be thinking about patient safety at the forefront of any action that we were to call. This is all very speculative, just to be clear, but that is something that we would strongly consider going forward.
What do you think about? We have the problem concerning pay and industrial action. That's very much the here and now, but the longer term issue is the massive attrition, isn't it, of junior doctors? And is the country going to have any doctors left?
This is exactly the problem. So at the moment, we have already 9,000 doctor vacancies in hospitals and roughly 2,000 less full-time equivalent GPs. So the junior doctors that are leaving now to places like Australia, Canada, New Zealand are the future consultants and specialty doctors and GPs that we won't have. There's already 7 million patients on our waiting list, and that number is only rising. We're already treating less patients in a timely manner in A&E who are having to wait longer to see doctors, and that will only get worse if we're unable to retain our highly trained professional colleagues, and that's what we need to be doing. That's what the government needs to be doing.
All right, Dr. Trivedi, good to talk to you this morning. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.